Hello, it's Helen and Felting, and today let's make London guard. Let's get started. And first I take some wire. I like to make my toys on wire armature. Why? Because first I know exactly the size of my toy, and also it makes my toy more flexible, more durable and more steady. So first I start my toys from the head, because head sets the proportion. I know the size, but anyway, the head is very important, and I always start with the head. I take some wool, about this quality of wool, and I stab. I have the rule in felting that is called stab and turn. We stab and turn, stab and turn. For felting, we use special felting needles, felting mat, and not to stab wool in the mat, we have to stab and turn. And our head must be solid, keep shape, and smooth, like this. It takes some time, really it takes some time, but it's worth stabbing. It takes about 10 minutes to create a head. And look, stab and turn, stab and turn, stab and turn. And now my head is ready, and now I connect the head and the body. I connect them. I pay attention, I leave fluffy the end of the neck, and I connect. And again, I stab and turn, stab, stab carefully. Now, to make a shape on a wire, it's great, but it's not good for needles. And look, now I make the body and I tear some wool. I don't cut, I just tear some wool and make the body. And I start from arms, from sleeve. Okay, wrap the wire with the wool and stab. Stab and turn, stab and turn. It's longer to make the toy on a wire, because I stab slowly, a bit slowly, but it's more convenient at the end. So one sleeve is ready, then I wrap another arm, and again I stab and turn. Stab and turn. And then the body. First I leave it soft and fluffy, but I have to make them solid and smooth. But it will be a bit later. Again, it takes me about 20 minutes to work with the body. And if you're just a beginner, it may be a bit longer. And unfortunately, stabbing yourself, it's inevitable when you stab your finger, but much pleasure on the other side. So then I start to make trousers, and for this I take some black wool. Again, I tear. We always tear the wool and wrap piece of wire and stab. Wrap and stab. I like to stab on my hands, but it can be very painful, and you can hurt yourself easily when you stab like this. So it's, of course, it's better to make it on the mat. On the mat. This amount is for hand, and I make a hand. And then I will make boots or feet of our London guard. Our hand is ready, and then we take some wool to make a boot or a foot. And of course, it's good boot. It is a matter of stabbing and the matter of time, of course. So, what is the difference between an amateur and the professional? It's just the quantity of stabbing. That's the main rule in Felton: stab, stab, and turn, stab and turn. And now our boot is almost ready. It's nice to create Felton with kids because even their big, fluffy parts of body or boots, it's very interesting and unique, and it makes the toy unique and very precious. About 15 minutes later, I have my London guard. He has arms, legs, feet and hands. And now we have to make bear skin. And if we make, when we stab and when we make bear skin, it will be recognizable image of London guard. Know that French soldiers had high, frightening hats, but when the British Army won the Battle of Waterloo, they took French hats like trophy, and since that, very elite regiments of Her Majesty the Queen, they started to wear bearskin. And bearskin, they are made of Canadian grizzly bear fur. And the weight of one hat is about 3.5 kilograms. And it's of course it's very distinctive and recognizable. Look, this is a recognizable image of London guard. And for an hour or hour and a half you can create a London guard, and because of the hat and red jacket you can definitely know that this is a London guard. But more details, more recognizable image. And look, this is London guard too, and to make it more authentic, more real, more close to life, you can use the chain like this, and you can use yellow wool and stab shoulder straps like this. You can take very small amount of wool and stab like this, and you have shoulder strap. Then you can take a very little amount of wool for making buttons. Look, it's very little amount, and you make buttons. And also a very little amount of wool like this for belt, and you make a belt like this. And of course, for London guard is very important red stripe on the trousers. And of course you tear some wool, and again remember, very little wool, and stab. And here it is. So now you can believe that this is a real London guard in front of you. In conclusion, I want to tell you about my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, watch tutorials, watch entertaining shorts, and create felting with me. Like, share, and remember about the bell and the notifications, and of course enjoy. And welcome to the fantastic and incredible world of wool and felting.